What is up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be trying something a little bit new. I have a craft suggestion brought to me by my boy Arisu. This is something that he cooked up entirely himself and just shared with me to share with you guys. So all credit goes to him. But he essentially told me that there is a way to craft pretty much 5 tier 1 caster rings on the perfect base with chaos res. Not tier 1, but tier 3 to tier 1. And I'm going to be sharing that with you guys today. I just want to make one disclaimer. I expect, for some reason, that the mats for these bases and like for the craft entirely will change pretty drastically after the video, but they'll probably stabilize within a couple days. The first step is we need to have the correct base. Now, rarity is giga meta right now. You're going to want, but probably need a gold ring base. I think gold rings are probably the best. They have the most resellability. The only thing you need is tier 1 rarity as a prefix, and it has to be 25 rarity as well. You can div it up if you want, if the bases get expensive, but the idea is we are going to try and fracture tier 1 rarity onto a ring. So in order to do that, you can either buy rings that are like magic. This costs me 4 div, or you can buy them rare. This one costs 1 div, this one costs 2 div, something like that. They're quite cheap right now. It's a magic ring. You're just going to want to add an essence on. So just guarantee tier 2 rarity. There's a tier 3. That's tier 2. We're going to add a collarbone on here, and then we are just going to want to fracture. Okay, we hit it on the first try. I was honestly expecting to have to go through a few of these rings to do that. But if you do get lucky, that's it. If you don't get lucky, what you're going to want to do with these 6 affix rings, you're going to want to recom them with another ring. Tier 6 evasion is actually 61% chance with the recom. It becomes like an 85% chance to hit. Animation cancel. Okay, we hit 1. We go rarity with mana as well. Damn, that's really good. You get like an 85% chance to hit on these. That's crazy. And we hit both. Cool. All we're going to do here is exalt once on each. And then we collarbone once on each. So now we have 3 mods. But that essentially is just the idea. If you were to just fracture on a normal ring with 6 mods, it's a 1 in 6 chance. And then if you are to take the 85% chance to recom plus the 1 in 3 chance to actually hit the fracture, you can actually go from a 1 in 6 to a 1 in 3.5, which is ideal. So now it's going to be the fun step, chaos spam, for double tier 1 rarity. Awesome. So I think we got a little bit unlucky. It's supposed to be like a 1 in, what, like 166? It took us 200, so a little bit unlucky, but it's reasonable. So 200 chaos orbs is what? 6.5 div? For 6.5 div, we essentially get to this point now where we have double tier 1 rarity. This is pretty much exactly where we want to be. The 6 div cost is like negligible considering how much we're going to be able to sell this shit for. We are going to kurgal Sinistral Omen, guarantee this spell damage on full energy shield with a collarbone. This will guarantee give us spell damage on full energy shield, which is exactly what we want. We have 3 affixes on our ring, right? We have rarity, which as you see has no tag. And then we also have this kurgal mod, which has damage and caster. So damage and caster, if you see on the suffix, only has 1 mod, and that mod is cast speed, which is how we're going to get cast speed on the ring. But really cool is that cast speed at tier 1 is only eye level 45. And at tier 2, it's only eye level 30. And a greater exalt gives us a minimum eye level of 35, which means this is the rare case where we have a greater exalt giving us guaranteed tier 1, saves us 2 div on the craft. Very, very nice. Suffix, homog, greater exalt. That's all we need. Greater exalt. I cannot stress this enough. This is so cheap. Cool. So we have tier 1 here now. So how do we get rid of this prefix thing that we don't want? The answer is actually kind of simple, but pretty beautiful and elegant, I think. So instead of using an omen of light here, cost 4 div, what we can then do instead is we can use one of these sinistral crystallizations, which causes this perfect essence of the mind to guarantee target the prefix. What we're going to want to do here is roll this prefix into another prefix that's not desecrated, which is going to be the percentage mana. Omen of crystallization. This time, we're going to be using an essence of abyss. What we're hoping here is to re-roll this into the mark of the abyss prefix. So that way we can go on to the next step, saving us an omen of light. Now, when we use the preserved jawbone, it guaranteed targets the mark of the abyss. Unfortunately, it's going to be a suffix here. But it's a 50-50, I think. In order to get prefix or suffix, we lost a 50-50. This is probably the most confusing part of the craft, but I'm going to try and break it down as simply as I can. Essentially, what we're trying to do for this next step is to get chaos damage as our prefix, so that way we can homogenizing exalt on chaos resistance guaranteed. If we hit the prefix desecration, we're just going to echo preserve jawbone, roll desecrate for chaos damage. And if we miss on the prefix, it's totally okay, because we can do the prefix essence of mind to guarantee re-roll the desecrated mod into another mark of the jaw, which is then another 50-50 for prefix suffix. And you keep doing that until you either hit the chaos damage or you hit the suffix. If you hit the suffix, which we did, we are going to then ulaman jawbone, echo, and roll for lightning and chaos res. If we hit this, which we are like 90+% chance to hit with an echo, we then homogenizing catalyse exalt for chaos damage. Regardless of whether or not we hit chaos damage, we are going to omen of light remove this. And if we hit chaos damage, we homogenizing suffix exalt for guaranteed chaos resistance. If we don't hit chaos damage on the homogenizing catalyzing exalt, what we're then going to do is just reset and then re-roll whatever mod we hit with the essence of mind prefix and then start over from the previous step. It is absolutely 100% deterministically guaranteed to get the chaos damage. And once you do, you can 100% deterministically get the chaos resistance. That is pretty much the plan, and it is quite likely to hit chaos damage here. If that shit was confusing to you, that's understandable. It'll make a lot more sense in this next step when I show you exactly what we do. And we are looking for chaos res. Perfect. So we hit chaos res here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to catalyze this gold ring with the Chayula catalyst that gives it chaos. The point of this is to try and fish for chaos damage on the prefix. We're going to use a omen of catalyzation, homogenizing exaltation, prefix exalt, and then just a normal exalt orb. But the goal here is to try and hit chaos damage on the prefix. Awesome. We hit chaos damage on the prefix. This is perfect. If we miss the chaos damage here, which is possible, but I don't think very likely, that is okay. All we do is omen of light annul, which we're going to have to do no matter what. We are kind of back in the same situation. We have a prefix that we don't want that's isolated. So we just prefix essence of abyss to turn it into a desecration. Then we're back to the first step. We desecrate it, we pray it's a prefix. If it's a prefix, all we do is we echo and look for the chaos damage. And then we can keep on cycling the essence of the mind with the prefix until we either hit the chaos damage as a prefix or we get the suffix again. And then we just repeat that step one more time. So this is a little bit tedious, but it's like a 2-step cycle where it's very cheap and it guarantees us chaos damage, which will then guarantee us chaos resistance. Now that we have chaos damage, we need to omen of light remove this chaos res. So now we have chaos damage on the prefix, one open suffix. From here, what we're going to do is we are going to homogenizing exalt, dextral exaltation, and then this time we're going to slam a perfect exalt orb. So as you can see on the suffixes, the only possible rolls we have are cast speed and chaos res. We already have cast speed, so the only possible roll is chaos res. Now the only question we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to greater or perfect exalt? If we greater exalt, we have tier 4 or above. If we perfect exalt, we have tier 3 or above. Getting tier 1 chaos res makes this ring at the end cost like 100 plus div. Sorry, like 120 div, I think. Getting tier 2 makes this cost like 80 div. So it's a pretty significant jump per tier. I would just say, let's use the perfect exalt. It's super cheap to do anyways. It's less than 2 div. We hit tier 2 right in the middle. Not bad at all. Could have been better. Could have been worse as well. For here, you could just send a normal sinister crystallization with an essence of the abyss to guarantee remove the prefix and convert it into a mark. Prefix modifier. So sometimes it'll say item cannot apply to the target item. That's just a bug. You just have to keep spamming it until it hits the prefix. Cool. In the end, we're going to want our final mod to be this kurgal desecration here. So we might as well just get a kurgal and desecrate it like that. So we use the omen of black blood with the preserved collarbone to guarantee this is a kurgal mod on the prefix. Awesome. And then now the last step before we even unveil is just going to be to get tier 1 life on here. So to get life on this ring is 100% deterministic, but it takes a few tries. So there's no way to brick it from here. And there's no way to brick the ring at any point during the craft. If you use a perfect exalt, which is eye level 50 minimum, when you hit life, you are guaranteed to hit tier 1. However, as you can see here, it's like a 1 in 23 to hit life. We are going to add life catalysts onto the ring and then catalyzing exalt for life with a perfect exalt. We're not exactly sure what the effect of catalyzing exalts are on the rolls. It's been speculated it's like 2 or 3 times increased weighting. It feels a lot more than that. From what I've been told, it's going to be like a 1 in 4, 1 in 5 at most in order to hit the plus life here. So very, very easy to hit. Omens of light are like 3.5, less than 4 div each right now. So in order to hit this max life roll, it's only going to cost us like 15 div. Catalyzing exalt life on like we just did. Perfect exalt slam and pray we hit life. We hit fire damage, that's a little rough, but we omen of light annul, remove the prefix, and then we repeat the process with the essence of abyss kurgal on the prefix here to get rid of the perfect exalt that we just put on. From here, we just do the same thing. Omen of catalyzation, add the life on, perfect exalt, boom, just like that. Now I got a little lucky, but essentially if I miss here, you just keep on cycling that process over and over until you hit the life. So we have Omen of Blackblood, Preserved Collarbone, and we turn this Mark of the Abyss into increased spell damage when on full energy shield, which we get guaranteed using the kurgal. Awesome. Now it's kind of on us to divine it a little bit, make it look nice for the trade site or for our own personal use, and that is actually pretty easy to do as well. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. 25 rarity, almost max roll life. And then we just want to get our prefix rarity a little bit better than min roll. 10%, is that good enough? 13%, that seems good enough to me. That pretty much from start to finish is how you craft these Giga Rings pretty deterministically. You can guarantee every single one of these mods. The only one that you can't guarantee tier 1 is Chaos Res, and it's a 1 in 3 to hit tier 1, 1 in 3 to hit tier 2, and a 1 in 3 to hit tier 3. This is pretty much how you do the craft from start to finish. I think this is the most efficient route possible, and it's 100% deterministic to get here. The only thing that really have a little bit of RNG about is the life roll, but that is just getting it on and how much it costs you to get there, not whether or not it's even possible to get there. These are all the steps of the process. I'll put this in the description if you want to read it and follow along when you're crafting, or maybe just if this kind of step-by-step process would help you. But the breakdown for the cost of crafting this is actually quite low. It's like 40 div. I kind of go through it here, but the only expensive parts for the craft are pretty much getting the fracture onto the base, which is like around 8 div, chaosing on the second tier 1 rarity, which is going to be like 6 div, an omen of light here and there, and then a perfect exalt, and then getting the life on is going to be like 15 div, which is probably like the most expensive part of the entire craft. But all in all, it costs you like 40 div to get here. And if you take a look, these rings are going for around 80 div each with tier 2 chaos res or above. I mean, this guy's tier 3, but tier 2 is going for like around 80 div, and then tier 1 going for around 120 div. So that's kind of how it is right now. These rings are incredibly expensive, but as I just showed you, they're quite easy to craft. Sorry, 1 second. I want to show you guys this. I hope you guys saw that clip or that frame. We were able to sell the ring as I'm editing the video. So this is like 20 minutes after I posted it. We sold that shit for 78 div. They definitely do sell. Just want to include that in the video in case there was any question of, am I pressing it too high or too low? Maybe I pressed it a little too low. Maybe we could have gotten 80 div, but easily sells for 78. Anyways, that's it for the entire video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys are able to get some of these bases for cheap before the hideout warriors get to them and gobble that shit up. Anyways, if this video was helpful for you, if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope to see you guys again in the next one.